Welcome to Digital Asset News to get top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down into bite-sized pieces. Today, got some pretty interesting stuff. First up, institutions withdraw a massive amount of Bitcoin from Coinbase, moving it to cold storage. So what does this mean for the entire cryptocurrency market? All I can say is it's bullish. On top of that, IOHK, the development arm of Cardano, introduces new programming language Glow. So what does it mean for Cardano? Well, it's going to make things a lot easier. And what that means when things are easier, mass adoption. And to follow up, we're going to take a look at Ethereum update Berlin hard fork, ETH 2.0 beacon chain, and what is going on as far as the upgrades for Ethereum. So we'll go over those three stories, but first, let's take a look at what's going on in the market. So today it's Saturday morning. It is February 27th, 9 a.m. El Paso, Texas time. We just got done with a live stream where we did a portfolio review of 3 subscribers and a really ending good story. So if you have time, go ahead and check that out. I'll link it at the very end of this video. It was just interesting to see that it doesn't matter how much you have. All you got to do, really, and again, not financial advice, is the things that I would do, is that I don't have to have 20 winners. I just got to have a couple of winners, a couple of okays, a couple of meh, and then maybe some bombs. That's all right, because those big winners are going to overshadow what's going to happen with the losers, and you're going to see that pretty clearly in the portfolio review. Anyhow, so this is what we got that is going on today in the cryptocurrency market. Pretty good day, right? Bitcoin hasn't fallen to 25,000 like some people said it was going to happen to, sticking around the 46 number. I'm happy with that, and just fluctuating about a 1%. So whatever. Ethereum down a little bit, 4%, and in my opinion I think it's massively underperforming, honestly. I know some people say, well, it went from 700 to 1400 and it doubled, da, da, da. Yeah, that's true, it did. But I mean, look at what's going on with all the other ones. I mean, if you can just take a look at like Polkadot and Chainlink, they're going up massively, not to mention Voyager, which is 29 cents, now it's $6. So, I mean, it is hard when you have these larger cap cryptos. But again, we're looking at bearish sentiment for Bitcoin, Ethereum. Cardano is one of the big winners today at 20%, and that's huge. And we talked about this yesterday, video where we talked about the Mary hard fork, which is going to, usher in the Goguen era with smart contracts. But on top of that, you're going to have decentralized finance and native tokens. So remember that whole big craze as far as ICOs in 2017, because everything was built on Ethereum? Well, now you can do that on Cardano. And they're also doing that ERC20 converter, which means you can take any project that is on Ethereum, just zip it on over to Cardano, and it's a lot cheaper and faster. So what do you think is going to happen? I'm not sure, but I own a lot of Cardano. I also own a lot of Ethereum, so not financial advice, just saying you might want to look into those. Tether's Tether, nobody cares unless you're New York Attorney General. Binance Coin still doing okay, but not too bad. Polkadot up. What else? 13% for Stellar. I think there's been more talk about more stable coins migrating onto the Stellar network, so that's big. NEM's a little bit up. Cosmos, interoperability, a big factor. We need that desperately, so that looks pretty good. And then IOTA up 3%. We just had an interview with Dom from IOTA. They're doing pretty great things over there, and I'm going to take a deeper dive over at danteachescrypto.com just to take a look at what they're doing and see if it's something to invest into. So, all right, so we've got that. Let's see what could be a potential big winner by using the trade the chain, the projected range, which is really good, 90% accuracy for the next hour. So right now, this middle number here, this 5% for Talos, which has been on a tear lately. We talked about this. This I think is the third time we talked about this. It's a 90% accuracy to go to 5% or even 20%. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. How Trade the Chain works is it scrapes data from all the different websites and blog posts, has a direct integration into Twitter to get an analysis. This is what they see. Utrust, Verge. I would not touch Verge. I just don't like it. Genesis, Kava. These are most things I've never heard of. Unibright, potentially 2% in the next hour. Decentraland. Ooh, nice. So if you want to check it out, the link's in the description. It's just interesting to see like all the different projects that could potentially be big that are just kind of hidden. Like I don't know about them. I don't know if you know about them, but just kind of trying to bring those to light and maybe do your own research so you can really delve into it and see what's the next big thing. All right, so let's jump into today's top story. I'm gonna make these quick because, I mean, they're good, but we don't need to do a ton of information. First of all, institutions withdraw massive amount of Bitcoin from Coinbase, moving it to cold storage. So here's what we got. This was a pretty good information from Key Young. He is the, here he is, crypto quant analyst. That's what he's from. So he talks about on Friday, there was a whopping $13,000 Bitcoin was acquired and moved from the largest U.S. digital exchange, Coinbase, which is true. Coinbase is the largest, most expensive for sometimes, but yeah, it's the biggest. Anyhow, he talks about Bitcoins were purchased by U.S. financial institutions. They're accumulating Bitcoin as it is trading in a correction. Let me just tell you this. Every time there's a huge correction, I always think it's a manipulation. And I always think it's so the big guys can get their grubby hands from it. And because they were like, hey, guess what? If I can get my hands on this at a cheaper price, this will be great. So if we manipulate a little bit, that's good for us. I'm not saying that is exactly what happens, but I always think that because deep down inside, I think this is what's going on. But these are what has happened for the institutions, and they grabbed it. That Bitcoin is worth $624 million. That the 13,000 Bitcoin. See, it says here on Friday a whopping $13,000 of Bitcoin. I think it was 13,000 Bitcoin. Just saying. Anyhow, that 13,000 Bitcoin is worth $624 million, and they acquired it at 48,000 per coin, which was a pretty good play because it was up to 58,000. So they got a $10,000 flash sale. So good for those institutions. You know, we should stop really calling it smart money and just call it the manipulator money, because that's what I think is going on. Anyhow, so this is all good news. Here's a nice little graph from Crypto Quant and shows what's going on. So really all this means is this. When we have a lot of outflow from these exchanges, if you're new to the crypto game, this is usually what it means. If they outflow it and they put it into cold storage, it means they're not going to sell it anytime soon, and they just want to protect it and just keep it on. They want to keep an eye on it for whatever custody service that they have. So they don't want to put it on the actual exchanges, which is great. Now, when you start to see a massive inflow into these exchanges of cryptocurrency, just watch out, because usually that means a lot of institutions are going to sell. So when it goes out, that means it's a bullish indicator because they're not going to sell. They're going to hold on to it. When it goes in, that means bad news because they're going to sell. So if you look at it and time it right, you could make a lot of great plays. I'm not a trader to say. I mean, I do it every so often, but with a very small amount of my portfolio, because I like to gamble every so often. But for me, I'm just an investor. So when I see a dip, that's good for me because I go, great, I can buy it on a flash sale. And then when it goes up, great, my portfolio's up. It's actually good either way for me. So that's what's going on in that section. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let's move on to our next piece. So, this was a big thing I want to talk about, which was this. You know how, it talks about Coinbase, and I said it's kind of expensive. This was a pretty good tweet from Digital Doji over on Twitter. And he took a look at if you bought one Bitcoin, here's how much it would cost. So the Bitcoin price when he did this was yesterday. It was at $47,708. Here's the payment method. I guess he's got Ali Bank. Good for you. You purchase this much, but here's the Coinbase fee, $710. So you're paying really $48,419. So almost another, $800 somewhere on there, and $47,700. And then he compared that to buying it on Voyager. So with Voyager, he goes, I want to buy one Bitcoin. Well, that's worth $47,724. There was a little bit of a price of like $26, I guess. And that's how much you buy it for. So if you haven't got onto Voyager yet, I know there's a waiting list. I know it sucks, but if you can get into it, definitely do it, because they are a brokerage. They go through different exchanges to find you the best rate, kind of like hotels.com of crypto. And it's what I use almost pretty much exclusively now to get all my crypto. And that's what's going on. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's move on to our next piece. IOHK. IOHK, the development arm of Cardano, introduced a new programming language, which is great. I mean, great, another programming language. I guess, Haskell, just not enough. They're like, hey, let's do one more. Why do they do this, and why is it important? I'm going to tell you why in a sec. So it can all be summed up in these couple paragraphs. There's a new programming language called Glow. It's going to be added to the Cardano's Ethereum virtual machine development network. It's designed to ease smart contract writing and deployment. The introduction of Glow will improve the development process and reduce its cost. New developers will be able to migrate to Cardano from other chains. That's big. Language is portable. It will be applied to other blockchains besides Ethereum and Cardano. As such, this release stresses IOHK's focus on cross-chain interoperability. So again, it's another example of Cardano making moves and making it very easy to write, or as a developer, to get onto their platform and just say, you want to code, you want to make a project, just do it here. We'll make it super simple for you. If you ever think about anything that you've ever done in life, usually it's the path of least resistance. People don't like to work. Why would people, let me ask you this, why would people want to work harder for the same results if they can just go someplace else and do it simpler? This is the thing in business. You have customers, they want this thing, you give them that thing. And that's pretty much it. So when I talk about Cardano and going up, I know some people are like, Cardano can't keep going up and, it's going to fail. And it's a lot of, who's really building and developing on it? Well, they couldn't really develop on it too much because they haven't gotten the Gogan area. And now that they're there, now we'll see. Now this is where the rubber meets the road. Let's see if all that planning for all these years pays off. I don't know if it's going to. I got a good feeling. I invest in people. I like Charles, part of the Ethereum mafia, as I used to like to call it. So we will see what happens. But again, making things easier for developers is a pretty great way to get them on your side. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Let's move on to our last piece. So not to leave out Ethereum, because I like to be balanced as much as I can, even though I'm super biased on this channel. I'll just be honest with you. I usually talk about the things that I invest into, and that's just the truth. So now you know. Ethereum update, Berlin hard fork, EIP 1559, ETH 2.0 beacon chain, first ETH ETF. So this is all great information if you want to read that. I'll link in the description. So there's some upgrades coming. EIP 2565, monitor expert gas cost, simple subroutines for the EVM, gas cost increases for state access opcodes. That's good. Increase the rates. Type transaction envelope, optional access list. If you want to read all of that, great. Bores me. Sorry, I almost fell asleep reading it myself. ETH 2.0 beacon chain validators. Let's see. No. This is pretty interesting. There are nearly 100,000 active validators. That's great. The more validators you have, the more decentralized your project can become. With around 3.19 million ETH, worth roughly 4 billion staked. That's great. But if you take a look at what's being staked on the Ethereum network, I want to say it's like between 3 and 4%, which is a good amount, right? Pretty good. As opposed to Cardano network, you're looking at 70%. There's 70% going up that's already staked in Cardano. Just saying. There is a difference though. With Ethereum, when you stake it, it's there for the long haul. You're looking at 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years. No one really knows. And then if you look at Cardano, you can take it out anytime you want to. And that's why if you go to danteacherscrypto.com and click on the ADA staking, we have our own staking pool, D-News. There's a video of how to do it, how we compare, how easy it is, how much you'll make in the rewards, passive income. Go check that out. There's a link in the description. Anyhow, this is the big thing I wanted to get to. The first Ethereum ETF. That's big, right? We like ETFs here. We hear about them all the time. Seems like they never happen, but here's one. So on Thursday, February 25th, CI Global Asset Management announced that it has filed and obtained a receipt for a preliminary prospectus in Canada for a CI Galaxy Ethereum ETF. Once it has been launched, it should be the first ETF in the world. So hasn't launched yet. They've got a prospectus. Looks like it might go through. Hopefully it goes through. That would probably be a big boom for Ethereum as far as an ETF. And we'll see what happens. So Ethereum is making moves. Nothing against it. I know I kind of poo-poo a little bit on it. But hey, make no mistake about it. They have the most developers right now working on their network. They're doing great things. And I own Ethereum. I own Cardano. I wish them all the best because that's good for me. Maybe you own the same thing. That's good for us. So we'll see what happens as time goes on. And that's it for today. So first of all, if you made it all the way in, hey, thanks. I appreciate it. If you liked the video, why don't you give it a thumbs up? That would really help. Also consider subscribing because most of the things we talk about are time sensitive, like the news we just talked about today. And then I'll link those 2 videos at the end so you can check them out on the left and right, like YouTube do its magic. And that is all. So thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one.